Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started.
Nick Aldis was angrier than we had ever seen him before. And it was all because Paul Heyman decided to bring back a suspended superstar to SmackDown ahead of Survivor Series 2025. For context, the main event of SmackDown was Cody Rhodes versus Bronson Reed for the undisputed WWE Championship. It was a match that came about thanks to Heyman's manipulation and Cody Rhodes' impulsiveness. The match ended in a DQ, which was no surprise considering that the Vision had Logan Paul and Braun Breaker on their side. Even though they were late, the USOs still came out to help, as promised. However, a name that nobody expected to appear was Drew McIntyre, who was suspended by Nick Aldis last week. This is why he was fuming and screaming at Paul Heyman for bringing the Scotsman back. It was quite the moment on SmackDown, with Drew McIntyre helping the Vision take out Cody Rhodes and the USOs. There was no CM Punk this week to help. And WWE also confirmed that one more slot will remain. This means that both the men's and women's matches are expected to be 5 versus 5. Roman Reigns is expected to join the babyface team, while Brock Lesnar has been heavily rumored to be a part of Heyman's Team Vision. Either way, Nick Aldis had a big load to deal with on SmackDown this week. And things are only going to escalate from here. It's going to be interesting to see how things play out on Raw in Madison Square Garden in what has been advertised as John Cena's last ever appearance on the Red brand. With only a little over 2 weeks remaining, expect the build-up to continue to intensify for Survivor Series as WWE looks to get back on track as the year ends, in the final stretch before Survivor Series 2025. WE's Blue brand found itself in absolute chaos. The tension that had simmered for months between Nick Aldis and Paul Heyman finally exploded into the open. And it happened in a way no one in the locker room expected. SmackDown was already dealing with injured stars, backstage politics, and Roman Reigns' looming return. But Heyman added gasoline to the fire when he made a move that even he had to know would send Aldis over the edge. He brought back a suspended superstar, and he did it without permission. The moment SmackDown went live from Tulsa, the energy inside the arena felt different. Aldis opened the show inside the ring, looking more stressed and frustrated than he had at any point since becoming general manager. He addressed the WWE Universe directly, stating his commitment to fairness, discipline, and order on the Blue brand. But something in his tone hinted that something was about to go terribly wrong. 15 minutes later, it did, as Aldis walked backstage. Production ran up to him saying something had gone horribly off script. Before he could even respond, Heyman appeared on screen with his signature smug confidence, flanked by 2 massive security guards and a look in his eyes that said he knew exactly what he was doing. "Ladies and gentlemen," he said, "it gives me great personal pleasure to present to you the return of a man wrongfully punished, a man wrongfully forgotten, a man Roman Reigns always believed in." Then the music hit. The crowd erupted. Solo Sikoa walked out onto the SmackDown stage, no announcement. Number warning, no authorization. The same Solo who had been suspended indefinitely 2 months earlier after attacking WWE officials, injuring LA Knight, and refusing to follow Aldis' directives. Nick Aldis felt his blood pressure spike instantly. He stormed toward gorilla position, shouting at production members, demanding answers. "Who cleared this?" he yelled. But everyone already knew. Only one person would dare Paul Heyman as Solo. Sikoa walked to the ring with an expression that told the world he felt not the slightest bit remorseful. Aldis reached the curtain just in time to catch Heyman handing Solo a microphone. That was the final straw. Aldis grabbed a headset, ordered the segment cut, ordered security to escort Solo out of the building, but nothing happened. Heyman had anticipated every move. Extra security hired privately by Heyman formed a circle around Solo, preventing WWE's own personnel from interfering. Nick Aldis Solo said from the ring, his voice quiet but menacing, "You suspended me because you were afraid. Afraid of what I represent? Afraid of what comes next." The crowd stirred. Solo continued, "You said I was out of control. You said I was a danger to the roster. But the only danger is what's going to happen at Survivor Series if you try to stop the bloodline." Backstage, Aldis was fuming. He wanted to pull the plug on the entire show. He wanted Heyman dragged out of the arena. But Heyman approached him calmly, almost serenely, like a man who is completely untouchable. "Nick," Heyman said with a fake politeness that made Aldis' skin crawl, "this is not SmackDown's problem. This is a bloodline matter. And the tribal chief, the one whose return you keep doubting, has authorized Solo's reinstatement." Aldis got directly in Heyman's face. "You don't run this show. You don't reinstate anybody. And you don't get to hijack my brand for your little power games." Heyman didn't flinch. He simply smiled. "Nick, you're not listening. This is bigger than you." The two men stared each other down for several long seconds. The production crew froze. Security didn't know which orders to follow. It was the kind of tension that could ignite with just one wrong word. Then Aldis snapped. He walked to the ring himself, grabbing a microphone. He didn't care about Heyman's fake authority. He didn't care about Solo's threatening presence. He wanted control back, and he was going to take it. "Solo Sikoa," Aldis said, "you are still suspended. You were not cleared medically. You were not approved by Talent Relations. You are not authorized to appear on SmackDown." Solo stared at him, jaw clenched. And Paul Heyman, Aldis continued, "You have overstepped your authority for the last time. You have lied. You have manipulated. And you have hijacked this brand one time too many." The fans were eating it up. Then came the line that made every headline. "You want chaos. Fine. At Survivor Series, SmackDown is going to remind the bloodline exactly who's in charge. But until then, Paul Heyman, you are banned from the building." The arena gasped. Heyman protested instantly. "You can't ban me from SmackDown," he shrieked. Aldis didn't even look at him. "Try me." Security, actual WWE security, this time escorted Heyman out, while Solo glared at Aldis like he was choosing which bone to break first. But Aldis didn't back down. "Solo," he said, "you're leaving the ring." Now, Solo stepped forward, but Aldis held his ground. The two were inches apart. Solo's breathing grew heavier. The tension was suffocating. Fans were chanting, cameras shaking. The commentary team whispering about whether Aldis had just signed his own death warrant. Then, without warning, Solo backed up slowly and walked out of the ring. Not because he respected Aldis, but because he was sending a message. This isn't over. Backstage, chaos reigned. Talon whispered. Producers argued. Social media blew up instantly. Did Heyman secretly have Roman's blessing? Was Solo really reinstated? Would Aldis face consequences for banning Heyman? What did this mean for Survivor Series? Aldis knew the chaos wouldn't end tonight. If anything, this was just the beginning. Survivor Series was shaping up to be a direct war between management and the bloodline, with Aldis firmly in the crosshairs, and somewhere whether it was tomorrow, next week, or minutes after the cameras stopped rolling, Nick Aldis knew Roman Reigns would respond. Heyman had made sure of it. But for now, Aldis stood tall backstage, refusing to show the fear every staff member felt. He had drawn a line. Heyman had crossed it. And Solo Sikoa's return had thrown the entire WWE landscape into uncertainty. Survivor Series 2025 wasn't. just going to be a battle for brand supremacy. It was going to be a war for control of SmackDown, of the Bloodline, and of WWE itself. And Nick Aldis wasn't backing down.